Have you ever wondered what's hiding in the 80% of the ocean we've never explored? What if some sea monsters from legends were actually really hiding there? Today, we're looking at 10 mythical sea creatures that really existed. The craziest ones are waiting at the end. Number 10. Kraken. Dating back to the 1100s, seafarers and coastal communities shared frightening tales about the Kraken, a massive sea beast resembling a squid. These accounts described attacks on vessels that dragged them beneath the surface. The legend likely originated in the seas surrounding Norway, Iceland, and Greenland. Stories spoke of an enormous creature with lengthy tentacles capable of capturing whales or destroying large vessels. The Kraken would supposedly create powerful whirlpools that consumed everything nearby. Like most ancient tales, these accounts were likely exaggerated through repeated telling, yet the earliest documented sighting dates to 1180. During that era, sailors had no knowledge of giant squids. When they encountered something unusual in the water, they naturally assumed it was a dangerous sea monster. But what if there was truth to these stories? In 1853, an enormous sea creature washed ashore in Denmark. It was the first close encounter with such a massive animal, bearing striking similarity to the Kraken of legend. This discovery prompted scientists to question how many species of giant squid exist and their maximum size. Could any reach the proportions described in historical accounts? Consider that creatures like Megalodon and Nothosaurus were genuine prehistoric animals. The largest squid discovered measured 43 feet, roughly 13 meters. Many researchers believe squids of such magnitude could exist. There's more evidence to consider. In 2011, researchers discovered ancient marine reptile bones arranged in an unusual pattern. Some scientists suggested only a massive octopus or kraken-like squid could have arranged them this way. Professor Mark McMenamin has dedicated years to proving these giant squids existed. Examining bones of Titanosaurus, a marine reptile from 200 million years ago, he noted the remains weren't scattered, but deliberately grouped. He observed markings resembling squid sucker scars and signs of a broken neck. This suggests something large attacked it. The bone arrangement mirrors how modern octopuses bring prey to their dens. However, such a creature would need to exceed 30 meters in length to kill and consume that reptile. That's more than double the size of any squid we've documented. So, did the Kraken exist? Perhaps. The sailors' accounts might contain more truth than fiction, and the unexplored ocean depths could have housed, or might still house, a creature matching the Kraken description. Number 9. Leviathan. Leviathan transcends mere mythology. Biblical texts describe it as a sea monster of unstoppable power. Interestingly, cultures worldwide speak of enormous sea creatures. Ancient Greeks mentioned serpents with extraordinarily long necks. Meanwhile, Asian and Pacific sailors reported massive shadows moving beneath the dark waters. These separate cultures, never having contacted each other, described remarkably similar monsters. This similarity seems significant. Why did so many different peoples believe in such creatures? Approximately 50 million years ago, an actual sea serpent called Paleopus dominated the oceans. Stretching over 30 feet, about the length of 4 compact cars, it inhabited warm coastal regions where ancient peoples could have discovered its remains or encountered living specimens. Scientists consider it extinct now. Yet, with over 95% of the ocean unexplored, some theorize that related species might still survive in the depths, inspiring modern sea serpent sightings. However, Leviathan descriptions suggest something even larger. An ancient whale called Leviathan possessed teeth the length of human hands and hunted other whales. Some believe it even battled megalodons successfully. Scientists named it after the legendary Leviathan. The legend wasn't pure fiction, but inspired by actual monsters like enormous whales and giant sea serpents that once dominated our waters. Perhaps something equally frightening still hides in the ocean's depths. Number 8. Giant sea serpents. How do you feel about snakes? Probably not favorably, but imagine seeing one over a mile long moving through the ocean. Giant sea serpent myths appear across cultures, from South Asian Naga deities to Japan's Ryujin to Norse mythology. One particularly unsettling series of encounters occurred in Gloucester, Massachusetts. Between 1817 and 1819, numerous witnesses reported seeing a monstrous creature with an elongated body and snake-like head. Descriptions painted it as massive and unexplainable. Some attribute these sightings to misidentified animals, perhaps a basking shark. From above, this 40-foot fish glides like a serpent. In 1808, a 55-foot carcass washed up in Scotland, with locals convinced it was a sea serpent. But basking sharks aren't the only possibility. In 1860, another supposed sea serpent appeared in Bermuda, later identified as an oarfish. an even stranger creature. Oarfish can reach 50 feet with slender silver bodies and unusual red filaments along their spines. They lack scales and move like ribbons through water, rarely surfacing unless ill or dying. At night, they rise toward the surface to feed, adding to their mysterious nature. So what was the Gloucester serpent? A basking shark, an oarfish, or something else entirely? One certainty remains. At sea, judging distance and size proves difficult, especially at night. Yet every glimpse of something long and dark twisting through the waves keeps this legend alive. Number 7. Naga. You may have heard of snake worship in India and considered it merely an unusual ancient custom, but it's actually rooted in age-old mythology. The Naga legend spans thousands of years in Hindu and Buddhist traditions. The Naga is portrayed as half human, half snake, sometimes with a human torso and serpent tail, or as an enormous snake with 5 or 7 heads. These stories present Nagas as guardians of waterways, springs, treasures, and rainfall. People believed respecting a Naga brought prosperity, wisdom, and protection from snake bites. Disrespecting one supposedly invited punishment through floods, drought, or illness. Snake veneration continues today in parts of India. The cobra holds particular significance. During the Nag Panchami festival, people offer milk to snakes following ancient customs based on legend. Many temples display Naga carvings with raised hoods as symbols of this practice. Historians suggest this legend originated when ancient communities observed snakes near rivers and streams, imagining Nagas as protectors of water and earth. Over time, this belief integrated into religious rituals. Even now, Naga stories appear everywhere, from temple artwork to modern television shows like Noggin, depicting the Naga as a mysterious shape-shifting being. Some dismiss these as old tales, while others wonder if they're based on something real. Regardless, the Naga legend continues to captivate our imagination. Number 6. Umibozu, a shadow from Japanese folklore. A sea monk feared not for aggression, but for its silence. The sea becomes completely still. No wind, no waves, nothing. It seems tranquil, but that's precisely when danger approaches. Without warning, a towering wall of water rises from nowhere. Ships disappear instantly. The real terror comes after. Some say if you encounter this figure, it quietly requests a bucket. Seems simple enough, but provide an ordinary one, and it begins filling your vessel calmly and steadily until you sink, almost as if it derives pleasure from your fear. Only one escape exists. Deceive it. Offer a bottomless bucket, and you might gain enough time to flee. What does Umibozu look like? Legends vary. Sometimes massive, exceeding ship heights, sometimes mountain-sized, rising faceless from the deep, other times with snake-like arms emerging from mist, reaching like wet black tendrils. Some tales describe smaller versions attacking in groups, like malevolent mermaids hunting together. Regardless of form, one constant remains. Its arrival signals danger. Today, Umibozu appears in anime, films, comics, and video games. Science dismisses him as fiction, but when the sea grows quiet and fog engulfs the horizon, Japanese sailors remember one truth: silence serves as a warning. Number 5. Moby Dick. Moby Dick may appear purely fictional, but it's grounded in harsh reality. On November 20th, 1820, the American whaling vessel Essex was navigating the Pacific when a massive sperm whale struck it with tremendous force. The ship sank, leaving 20 crew members adrift in small boats. Hunger and thirst quickly set in. Weeks passed, and their ordeal became horrific. Ultimately, only 5 survived after being stranded for 89 days, driven to cannibalism for survival. Thus, while Herman Melville's Moby Dick is fiction, it's no wild imagination. Melville drew extensively from genuine 19th century whaling accounts. Sailors then didn't merely hunt whales. Sometimes whales retaliated. Whales were being killed for oil, yet these giants weren't defenseless. Sailors recounted tales of enraged whales attacking ships unprovoked, capsizing them or pulling them underwater. One tale particularly captured Melville's attention: the legend of an enormous white whale, pale as a ghost, roaming the Pacific. Sailors insisted it was intelligent and aggressive, attacking vessels with frightening accuracy. This beast earned a terrifying reputation as the ocean's terror. Melville wove these brutal realities into his masterpiece. His white whale, Moby Dick, wasn't mere imagination, but a combination of real horrors, symbolizing nature's revenge. Number 4. Ogopogo. Deep in British Columbia, Lake Okanagan conceals a creature that's intrigued locals for generations. Ogopogo is portrayed as a dark green black serpent 15 to 25 meters long, with a thick, scaly body, a horse-like or horned head, and a flexible neck. It moves in smooth, undulating humps powered by a strong tail and fins, often creating a foamy wake as it speeds across the lake. The first official sighting occurred in 1926, when a group claimed they observed a strange shape moving through the water. Since then, unclear photos, shaky videos, and stories have sustained the legend. In the 1980s, $1 million reward was offered for evidence. Greenpeace even suggested Ogopogo should receive endangered species protection. Clearly, Ogopogo became a tourism draw. Kelowna even erected a playful cartoon statue, a curious contrast to something once feared. So what is Ogopogo? Some suggest it's a massive fish, perhaps a prehistoric survivor. Scientists dismiss it as waves, light distortions, floating logs. But here's the thing. No one can confirm it exists, yet no one can prove it doesn't. Every ripple and strange shape beneath that clear surface maintains the mystery. Perhaps someday someone will capture undeniable evidence. Until then, Ogopogo remains right where it flourishes between legend and reality. Number 3. Cthulhu. Cthulhu is an eerie sea monster from a 1928 horror tale said to haunt dreams from ocean depths. But long before that story, actual sea monsters ruled the deep. One was Tusatoothis, a massive squid-like creature reaching 40 feet long. That's 2 giraffes placed end to end. It had a hard internal shell, making it stronger and faster than modern squids. It hunted giant fish and even juvenile marine reptiles. But like many others, it vanished when the asteroid struck 66 million years ago. Cthulhu might be fiction, but Tusatoothis was real. And here's something to consider. We've explored only 5% of the ocean, so if monsters like that existed before, what else hides in the darkness? Number 2. Nixie. The Nixie originates from ancient Scandinavian and German folklore. Usually, she appears as a human woman, though her appearance varies. Some tales portray her as an elderly woman with green skin, green teeth, and seaweed-like hair. Others describe her as beautiful, but still green-tinted. She's often covered in moss, seashells, and slimy aquatic plants. In some stories, she has a fishtail while swimming, but appears fully human on land. Still, one detail reveals her. Her clothes remain perpetually soaked and dripping. People call Nixies various names: water sprites, nymphs, even mermaids. Technically all fit, but if you encountered one, you'd likely just say it's a mermaid. So, what distinguishes the Nixie? Her legend predates most sea myths significantly, surrounded by ancient beliefs. Like mermaids, she supposedly uses beauty and song to lure sailors, often leading them to danger. But not all stories end tragically. Some say she demands yearly human sacrifices, while others tell of her falling for people, with those stories ending romantically instead of fatally. That might sound like pure legend, but here's where it becomes intriguing. For centuries, fishermen in northern Europe told stories of beautiful women emerging from rivers or lakes, calling out in strange voices. Entire villages believed they were real. In some locations, people left offerings near water to avoid angering them. Historians think these stories might connect to sightings of actual aquatic animals, or rare encounters with human-like shapes in water that couldn't be explained. Even today, reports exist of people seeing mysterious women near lakes or rivers, figures that disappear when someone approaches. No one has concrete proof, but the same descriptions persist across time and countries. That's why some believe the Nixie was based on something genuine. Number 1. Bloop. Of all mythical sea creatures, one beast recently surfaced online, quickly becoming the scariest legend of our era. Witnesses claim it inhabits the deep Arctic Ocean, so deep sunlight never reaches it. According to descriptions and illustrations, it's enormous, over 2,000 feet long. That's 6 football fields end to end. Its mouth is a nightmare, filled with hundreds of sharp teeth wide enough to swallow a whale whole, and its face is lined with 6 glowing white eyes that pierce total darkness. But here's what made people believe. Years ago, researchers recorded mysterious sounds from deep underwater in the Arctic. Scientists suggested it was probably ice fracturing, but others disagreed. They heard something alive, something unknown, calling from beneath the ice. The most chilling account comes from a deep ocean expedition when the team lowered a camera into the abyss. Something massive passed by, not clearly visible, but large enough to block out light. The footage never went public, but crew members reportedly left the mission and never returned to sea. So is this creature real? Science says there's no evidence, yet the ocean is vast, deep, and mostly unexplored, especially near the frozen Arctic. Our fear of strange sounds, hidden creatures, and endless darkness makes such a beast seem not just possible, but but terrifyingly real. Therefore, until we explore every hidden corner of the sea, it remains a frightening mystery. Maybe just mythology, or maybe the greatest secret hiding beneath the ocean waves. But this is just a drop in the ocean. There are countless other creatures once dismissed as myth, yet proven real. Continue exploring to uncover more, and prepare to question everything you thought were just myths.